I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. Greetings, everybody. Happy Friday night or Saturday morning, depending on when you're watching this. Currently sweating some college football stuff. Really could use a Colorado State score before the half here to get my over. And then San Jose State. That game, there was a couple people that messaged me saying, hey, good pick on San Jose State when they were up 21-7. Guys, that game's going to be like 51-50 finals. There's nowhere near over. That's going to be back and forth the entire second half. So trust me, we're going to be sweating that one down to the end there, San Jose State. But yeah, we got 4 playoff baseball games. We're into the division series. So we're into the next round. And then we got I got Scott Rochelle coming on. We'll talk about 4 NFL games. And then, of course, it's Friday night, so we're going to hear from the Grizz. So, without further ado, Trevor, for him to not show up. Now, he did say in a message, I could hop in, his words, I could hop in from my phone in my car outside the bar. I was like, dude, if you want to hop in from your car outside the bar, that's fine. So I don't know if he's about to pop in any second. But yeah, for him to skip out on this, it makes me want to bet the Cubs because that's a pure act of cowardice. Spoon's here. He's repping his set. It's Cubs Brewers in the playoffs. Doesn't get better. I mean, all that yapping Trevor did all year, it culminates to this. And I think him not showing up is going to make me want to fade fastball Freddie here.
Spoon. Especially because all 3 of our teams were in the playoffs. Spoon's team just beat my team. We've all been talking shit to each other. And for him just to go out and drink on a Friday night, I mean, grow up, Trevor. Grow up.
Grow up. Spoon, what do you think about a possible Cubs money line getting to fastball Freddie?
It's really tempting, especially at 135. I look at this game and I see just the prices across the board. You have the same price in the New York-Toronto game as you do the LA Dodgers and Philadelphia game. And I think this Cubs-Brewers game should be closer to that. Getting 135 with the Cubs seems like it's a little far. I haven't pulled the trigger yet. I'm also looking at that under 7.5. Just the way this game could get away. Boyd's seen Milwaukee a few times this year. They've gotten to him. Maybe Milwaukee finds a way to get to Boyd. He's coming off short rest, so then the Cubs go to the bullpen early. We talk about just home field advantage here in the playoffs and how much it means. This is a really geographically close series for these 2 ball clubs, and Chicago fans are infamously known for traveling very strong to Milwaukee. So I think you're going to have a strong Chicago fan base up there. Doing mental gymnastics here on trying to get to the Cubs or not, but I think I'm probably going to find myself there with the money line tomorrow.
How far is the drive from Chicago to Milwaukee?
Oh, I don't know that off the top of my head. I think it's like an hour and a half.
Oh, it's that close.
Yeah, it's like 145 max. You can get there on a train in like 120.
Well, if I remember correctly, and this comes from Trevor, so consider the source. He says Cubs fans only fill up the stadium on day games during the week, which is not this. This is Saturday. Because remember, he said, because we work.
I don't remember that.
Yo. Well, I promise you, if you're working or you're worried if that was your excuse, all the Cubs fans are going to have the tickets because if they have money, they're going to be able to travel on a Saturday.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't apply here. He was saying the only time Cubs flood the stadium. Again, I don't know if he's just yapping.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
They go out of their way to only sell tickets within Milwaukee initially. Like they won't sell outside of a certain area code just
Which
because
then brings other ticket vendors in. And yeah, so it's a whole, I mean, even on Twitter, it's a whole thing about who's really going to have a home field advantage and what. So
Toast, fastball Freddie, get it done in game 1?
I can't do it. I would only be on the Cubs here. First and foremost, congratulations to you guys. Padres are an absolute disgrace at this point, especially offensively. And if for all you people talking about the Padres bullpen and stuff, they gave up, I think, 1 run in 2 or 3 games, so you can suck it. But my point to that is that you're going to see Matthew Boyd, and yes, like Scoop talked about, he didn't have 2 great performances against Milwaukee this year. That's all good and everything, but I mean, the Brewers really only have 3 guys that are really going to kill you from the left hand or kill left-handed pitching. Terang, who's like a 114 WRC plus, Andrew Vaughn with a limited sample size, not terrible, but he still qualifies, but a 202, so he definitely hits lefties well. And then Jackson Churio, but besides that, everybody else is nothing to ride home about. And the reason that I mentioned that is because I don't think you're going to see Boyd for very long. I mean, he's going to be on short rest anyway, and I think that, not that I'm in love with Craig Counsell, but I trust him in the bullpen that they've been working with. What we saw in the Padres series was pretty impressive, and coming down the stretch, I'm actually not really worried about this Cubs bullpen that I actually really haven't been high on all season long. But if I'm looking at this game the last couple of days and looking what this bullpen's done, it's actually impressive. And then on the other side, you have the Cubs, who I know offensively didn't look good against the Padres. And again, maybe this is the Padres homer in me, but there's not a lot of teams that are going to go out and put up a whole bunch of runs and hits on that Padres pitching staff. You might get a Pooh Darvish sighting and get some runs, but besides that, Chicago offensively didn't do anything. Nick Pivetta gave up 2 home runs. That's usually what he does. But my point to all that is that seeing fastball Freddie or righty, Cubs have multiple guys that are way better than league average versus right-handed pitching, whether it be Carson Kelly, Ian Happ, Kyle Tucker, Michael Busch, Pete Crow Armstrong. They have a lot of guys that can smash. So I just don't see where the huge advantage is for Milwaukee. I think everything's kind of like a wash, and I'm getting a Cubs team that's already used to playing in the postseason at a huge plus price. So I'm probably going to play a couple underdogs tomorrow. But yeah, I think the Cubs are going to be on the list. I just don't see how you lay the juice with Milwaukee unless you just think that fastball Freddie's going to mow them down. But like I said, after seeing that Padres pitching staff, I don't think it's going to be that much of a step up in class for the Cubs.
Last year in game 1 of the DS the NL and ALDS, there was one underdog that took game 1. Who was that underdog?
I don't know.
It was the Metropolitans in Philly. Yeah, I hate to see it.
See that.
Next up, now we're heading up to Canada. Yanks Blue Jays for what should be an electric series.
So the Bills posted something about good luck to Toronto. I just want to tell everybody in the world, Buffalo is where Toronto's AAA team played and where they played in COVID.
They're also close as hell.
That's why they're celebrating and telling that. There's not like some conspiracy theory about the Yankees and all this BS. Like,
the Bills they're probably closer. Is Buffalo closer than Toronto than it is New York City? Buffalo's not close.
I was going to say.
I've never even been there, and I'm 40 minutes from New York City. I've never been to Buffalo. It's not close. Anyway,
I just wanted to say that because it made sense why they would root them on. So, anyway.
So what are your thoughts here, Toast?
I really want to play Toronto, to be honest with you guys. I know I don't love the fact that Toronto's had days off, but I trust Kevin Gausman. My issue with it is that there's like 7 guys on the Yankees that have like 20 plus plate appearances, against Kevin Gausman. But I don't know if that really matters. I think a lot is going to be made about Bo Bichette not being in the lineup and whatnot, but Toronto has a lot of guys that are really good versus left and right-handed pitching. Obviously, Luis Gil is right-handed pitching, but I mean, George Springer is one of the best hitters in baseball right now. Vladimir Guerrero, Dalton Varsho. I mean, all these guys have really good numbers. Alejandro Kirk, Addison Barger, who a guy I'd like for hits, runs, and RBIs tomorrow in the cleanup spot. But I get that the Yankees are very good offensively, but we saw against Boston, it wasn't anything special. And I would argue, besides Crochet, Gausman's just as good as Bayo, if not better. He's obviously way better than Early, and anything out of that bullpen is kind of a wash. I mean, I guess Hoffman can get into trouble a little bit later, but I don't know if I actually play Toronto. There's 2 other games that I'm definitely going to play. The Cubs are one of them. I don't know if I actually play Toronto, but I think they're trying to sucker people in with Yankees money, or Yankees at plus money, to be honest with you.
Well, it's Yankees.
Oh, and
they're the better
one
team.
other one other thing. Luke Weaver, one of the guys that is a decent spot in that bullpen, has terrible history against this Toronto team. So again, that just brings another thing to me of why I don't want to play on the Yankees.
Oh, there's Trevor in the comments.
Send him the link.
I sent it to him, dude. He's got it.
Probably sent it to him 3 times. He didn't send it.
Yeah, he's got the link. It's in his email. But yeah, go ahead.
I think this is New York here.
Good pick.
I look at the starting pitching matchup. Gausman has pitched really well versus this New York Yankees team this year. I think it's hard to do, especially the more times you see a lineup like what the Yankees have. Heel missed a good portion of the season with an injury, came back pretty late. One of his best starts of the season was versus this Toronto team. I think he can pitch well versus them. We get into this bullpen and how Toronto's bullpen matches up with the Yankees versus how the Red Sox did. Having Chapman come in from the left-hand side and Wilson from the left-hand side were really important. You get into a bunch of lefties, just like long stretches in this Yankees lineup where it'll just be lefty, lefty, lefty. And I mean, the arms they count on, Hoffman, Dominguez, Rodriguez, they all pitch from the right-hand side. I don't think that's great for Toronto versus the Yankees. I think a lot of people are going to draw back to that earlier season matchup where the Yankees came up into Toronto and Toronto swept them. It's obviously going to be some great energy in this building there tomorrow. Roof might be open. Temperatures in the low 70s. Not positive on that, but I just think the Yankees find a way to score more runs tomorrow. I think Heel comes out there, pitches pretty well. They have that full bullpen available. Only had to use Bednar in that last game of that series, so everybody's going to be fresh. This is Yankees for me. I got it plus 114 on Bally.
Yankees win 7-3, and they scored all 7 runs in 1 inning. That's what's happening tomorrow.
Which inning?
I just heard someone in my mic. Is he here?
Just hold on, Trevor. Just let him produce the show. We're gonna get you up here in a second.
Oh God.
Hold on. Here.
I mean, we might as well go back and hear his thoughts on the Brewers, though. No,
that's all we care about is the Brewers game. Let's be honest.
We all know he's on Cubs money line.
What the fuck is up? I'm sorry. What the hell is up, guys? Freddie Peralta's on the bump. Are we kidding me? Minus 150 is a free price with Freddie versus bogus ass Cubs lineup. We're gonna be flying the. Oh, they took me. Oh, here we are. All right, it's a minus 150 money line. Are we really believing in the Cubs after they barely scraped by the Padres, who couldn't get a hit if their life depended on it? This team has been ready. We have Euchre Magic, and we are at home. Did we not forget about, Wrigley's going to steal a game? How about Miller Park? All right, this place is going to be rocking. It's going to be a day game, but it's a Saturday. Nobody works on a Saturday. We don't work on Saturdays. This place will be rocking. Brewers. Take the minus 1.5. We're going to frick them up.
all right.
Thank you, Trevor.
Thanks for that.
Also, Blue Jays money line, Phillies money line.
Blue Jays money line, Phillies money line for Trevor. All right, got it.
Love you, Trevor.
Right,
be
later,
safe
guys.
tonight.
Later.
Go Crew. Love y'all too. We're gonna have some fun tonight.
You know, Trevor.
Oh yeah, we know you're gonna have some fun tonight. All right, let's switch it back over to the 3-person screen. Now that we've gotten through that. He literally opened it up, goes, "Are we kidding me?"
No, but what they couldn't hear is that he started talking as soon as he could see us on the screen, and then that's why you guys heard me talking. Hold on, Trevor, because he's like,
as soon as he got, so first you get led into the room, and then I put you on. So first, like, there's people in the background sometimes waiting for their turn to come on, and he just started going when he was in the background. The only we could hear him. Are we kidding me? Wow. All right. So anyway, we're on to Dodgers Phillies. So part of me wants to say Dodgers are hitting, lineups alive. But the other part of me is like, how do you ignore Christopher Sanchez and the Phillies at a cheap price and the Dodgers bullpen in the mix? So I don't want to bet on this team, this city. You guys know, I'm not a fan of it. But I think at this price, it's got to be the Phils.
I want Spoon to go first because the comments, you are correct. You have my pick correct. Spoon, I want to know what your thoughts are on this game, though.
I like Philly's money line here. Minus
Let's go,
120. Minus 120 for me. Christopher Sanchez, this guy has been dominant at getting lefties out. If you're going to get through this Dodgers lineup, you have to be able to get those big lefty bats out. This guy's been dominant versus everybody this year. In contest for Cy Young, won't win it, but it's been a great year. Philly's been sitting here at home. This place is going to be absolutely electric tomorrow for this series. I think there's a lot baked into home field advantage here, and I think that's why they're the favorite at all. But minus 120, that you're telling me on the road that Sanchez would be a dog in LA.
Yes.
I don't believe that for a second. So give me Phillies.
Philly's going to smack Ohtani around. Ohtani's not even a good pitcher.
Dodgers money line for me.
Bad bet.
I don't understand this price at all. I think 100% Christopher Sanchez would be a road in Dodger Stadium with Ohtani on the mound. There's no question in my mind. Let's just take a look at Christopher Sanchez really quick. Fantastic. No question about that. Let's go through some of his starts. Minnesota, crap. Miami, crap. On the road at the Dodgers, schlacked. Seven innings. Or I'm sorry, it was 7 innings, but he got hit for 7 hits and 4 runs. Pitched well against the Mets, Miami, Atlanta. Got shellacked by the Mets. Decent against Seattle, Cincinnati, Texas, Detroit. Got hit up by the White Sox. I mean, anytime that he faces the good competition, he doesn't really look like the Christopher Sanchez that we know and love. So, yeah, those home starts look really good against Minnesota and Miami and the Mets and Atlanta and Seattle, who can barely hit half the time, and Detroit, who was absolutely reeling. But this Dodgers offense is absolutely on a different level right now. I mean, even Miguel Rojas has a 143 or WRC plus versus left-handed hitting. Andy Pah has. Freddie Freeman, Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts can handle left-handed pitching as well. Teoscar Hernandez's numbers aren't great, but he's starting to come into his own. And before anybody says, well, what about the Dodgers bullpen? Well, I'll get to there in a second, but are we going to sit here with a straight face and act like we trust this Philadelphia bullpen?
Yes.
I hope not.
More so than the Dodgers, yes.
Well, I will give you that, yes. But
they have the bullpen advantage.
Yes, they do. I can't argue that, but I will say, but in Roki Sasaki's their closer. And
actually, no Sasaki does give me a little, he looked good. When he came in, I was like, oh, they do have an arm.
Yeah. That was my
Let's see him on the bump in Citizens Bank versus the heart of this lineup.
I would love to see
Spoon's feeling Aki about this pick. I can tell by the way Spoon's talking. He likes this.
So I have a full unit on the Dodgers, so this is fun. I'm glad. I said, Spoon, we were going to argue tonight. So yes, the Dodgers bullpen is a question, but at the same time, we don't have the rosters. They're not going to come out till tomorrow, but I would assume you get Banda back on that roster, or I'm sorry, not Banda, Clayton Kershaw. And then they're talking about having guys like even Tyler Glasnow out of the bullpen. So again, like I said, coming into the Red Series, not that it really mattered. And I know that they got hit up in some garbage time, which really doesn't mean anything to me. I know that doesn't look great, but them giving up some runs in garbage time really doesn't just do anything for me. So I think that you're going to see Ohtani for 5 or 6 innings. I think this is the start, and this is what they've been working up to the whole time. And then you're going to see Sasaki, Vesia, Dreyer, Trident, and any way that they want. Again, I'm a Padres fan. Everybody knows that, but Dave Roberts has my 100% respect, and I trust him. So I'm not really worried about the Dodgers on the back end because, again, keep in mind, yes, the Phillies have better names, but Duran is good. But are we really in love with Matt Strahm and David Robertson and Kerkering? I mean, I'll give you that, but a lot of these guys have decent numbers, but
they would all be the best reliever on the Dodgers.
That's absolutely false. That's not.
Have you watched baseball the last month?
No, I haven't. But I'm just assuming that
shows.
I'm pretty sure. Well, dude, but they have, like I said, Roki's pumping out 100 right now. Like, if you have him and Vesia and Glasnow or whoever they want to use and Kershaw out of that bullpen, this isn't the same Billionaires Boys Club that we all know and love. So maybe they're fishing for Dodgers money like I felt like they're fishing for Yankees money, but I felt like we're getting the Dodgers at plus money because Ohtani really hasn't been him, especially on the mound, and Christopher Sanchez has been. But I think they're a lot closer than we're giving them credit for, to be honest with you guys. So I will be on the Dodgers tomorrow. Comments, you got it 100% correct.
Is there a futures market on Kalshi to see if we can get the over 1.5 crying from Sasaki by the end of the playoffs? Or is
I forgot to run a poll on that one, by the way. I kind of want to see what the people vote.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Yankees and Blue Jays was like split. I kind of think they're going to pick more people are going to take the Phillies in this poll. But I'm curious. Didn't Trevor say Phillies before he signed off in his drunken rampage? He said.
I think he did.
So we're all on Philly. Toast is on Dodgers Island here. I saw Sheed was in the comments sporting the Dodgers, so you're not completely alone. Let's see what the votes come in. San Jose State.
I didn't say I think Philly's going to win. I said Philly's going to have a better bullpen. I'll give you that. That's what I said.
All right, the votes are coming in. It's looking like Philadelphia.
Trevor, first of all, you don't need to do all caps. Second of all, Tanner Scott's not going to be in any high leverage situation, so don't even worry about that.
Are we kidding me? Phillies won the poll, but there's actually a lot of people that pick Dodgers, so you're not alone. It's not.
That's the best series this is. This is going to be must-see TV all the way through.
I don't know. I think Yankees Blue Jays is the most fun.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of
man.
like the best
I like
two baseball
West Coast. That's how I like it. So that's part of me.
That is cool. But I think Yankees Blue Jays, there's a lot going on there. There's a lot of emotions, and Dodgers Phillies is probably the best in terms of baseball, like the two best teams, and whoever wins that is the favorite to win the World Series.
The content that comes out of Yankees Blue Jays is priceless.
It's going to be electric. There's going to be a lot of shit talking
TV
that.
channels hate each other.
Yeah.
The podcast hate each other. That's going to be pure cinema.
Yankees Blue Jays is like a content creator's dream. Like there's a lot of hatred there.
But Shet not being there is just a pure shame. It's a cop out for when Toronto loses the series.
Oh, you already know they're going to come with that.
Yeah.
Interesting one. Tigers Mariners. Obviously, it's a playoff game plus 181, but I can't really find an avenue to get there. George Kirby at home, obviously got the starting pitching advantage. I don't trust Kaiser Montero against lefties. There's some really dangerous lefties in that Mariners lineup. I mean, at first, it's like there should never be a minus 220 in a playoff game, and it's like, you know what? This should probably be 250. Like, I'm starting to think 220 is not high enough. Any reason to bet the Tigers here, Spoon?
So this is going to be a combination of Troy Melton and Kaiser Montero. Troy Melton's pretty highly regarded in that Detroit system. There's people that think he's the second best starter behind Skubal. Still really on in his career, a lot to prove to get there, but they obviously have a lot of faith putting him on the bump to start this game here tomorrow. I think between him and Kaiser Montero, they can pitch really well. This is a very pitcher-friendly ballpark. I'm looking at this under. From a side perspective, I could only get there with Detroit, but it's just not in my DNA to really try to fade George Kirby at home. This guy's shown for years that he can pitch really well here. I have no doubt that this Detroit lineup that was struggling to score runs in Cleveland will do the same thing in Seattle. So I like this under 7. You can get it minus 110 at FanDuel right now. I think this number comes down. I wouldn't be surprised to see 6.5s before the game starts tomorrow. It's really tough getting there with a side with Detroit, just trying to figure out how they score runs. But from a value wise, like I don't think any team should be this big of a dog in the playoffs right now.
Right.
I guess in that Red series it's a little different with the wild cards, but when we're to this level, everybody's pretty close.
It's a little different in the wild cards, especially when they don't put the best teams in. Also, there's that when we're talking about Reds, Dodgers. So I kind of want to play on Seattle. I think they're going to win like 5-1. I don't hate the under, but I think this is Seattle all the way. I don't want to take a minus 1.5 with a home minus 1.5 with a home playoff team, and you're going to get like what, minus 115 for it? No. But I want to find a way to play on Seattle, maybe like a double result or something. What do you think, Toast?
I'm the opposite. I want to try to find a way to bet on Detroit personally. I actually might just change my rules and take 1.5. I'll sprinkle the money line too, but I was actually talking to Lindy. He says hello, by the way, misses us. And he feels the same way. And Spoon said it as well. This number is absolutely ridiculous. Everybody knows my feelings on George Kirby until I die. There's no question about that. But there's a big but behind that. He hasn't really been the same George Kirby. He has starting to pitch better, but again, at home against the Dodgers, it was all right. It was good. I will give him that. But previous to that, Angels, St. Louis, Athletics, the White Sox, Texas. I mean, none of those lineups really scare you. And yes, I am well aware that Detroit's lineup's not very scary, but I do think that there's something to them playing in that same division in Cleveland and it being the AL Central, and we don't see a whole bunch of runs. That's part of it for me. But the other thing for me is that Detroit really has guys that can smash right-handed pitching.
Oh, come on.
Can they not? I mean, you guys
not
talked
outside
about
of Detroit. They
you
can't.
guys talked about Kerry Carpenter for 2 goddamn months on this show,
Kerry
like
Bonds.
he was very Bond.
That's like a
and now
July
he's
thing.
just nothing because Cal Raleigh hit 60 home runs. Now he's nothing.
Kerry Bonds is like a June thing, dude. It's not really cool anymore to say
Yeah,
Kerry Bonds.
He was never cool. The fact that I have to do this right now hurts me. But regardless, he has absolutely fantastic numbers versus right-handed pitching. Riley Green has fantastic numbers. Zach McKinstry, Gleyber Torres, Javi Baez is starting to play well. His numbers aren't great versus right-handed pitching. But my point is that we have a total at 7 here. And if you think the Mariners are going to win, you might as well play a -1.5 because I think this is going to be a really close toss-up game. Montero has always done well for us. For you to turn your back on him is an absolute travesty, to be honest with you. So it would only be Detroit for me. I think I'm going to end up taking the +1.5 for a little bit and then putting a little bit on the money line as well, because I do agree with Spoon. I don't think there's going to be a lot of runs scored. And then the very, very last thing, I asked myself when I bet some of these games, who I trust more as far as managing baseball games, Dan Wilson or AJ Hinch. And it's not even a question. It's AJ Hinch. So it's only Detroit for me. Dan Wilson's never managed a playoff game. He's barely knows what he's doing. AJ Hinch has titles. It's not even a question for me. It's only Detroit. And I might actually play Detroit on the series.
When was the last time they hosted a home playoff game in Seattle?
2001, I think.
Shout out to AOD for the super chat. What's up, man? Good to see you. All right. So I'm going to be betting Seattle money line. I know, but I mean, I've had so much success. I think I hit every single big favorite I bet. Did I lose any of those? I had the Yankees twice. I think I won every single bet I placed when I took these big favorites. So I'm going to play this. If you're looking to spice it up a bit, I'd go here with it. Momentarily. If you're looking to get a little risky, it's playoff baseball. You'd like a plus number next to your bet. Hey, can't say I don't relate. How about something like this? Detroit team total under 1.5 is +220. They're not getting to 2 runs. We got wind blowing in. It's in T-Mobile Park where balls go to die. George Kirby at home in the playoffs. Better manager here on the Seattle side. I trust him to manage the game. I trust him to manage the game better. Yeah, I'm gonna bet Seattle. Let me go back. Whoa, I'm gonna bet Seattle. I don't know about the Phillies. I'm gonna bet the Seattle, the Yankees, and then what's the first game we did?
The Cubs Brewers.
Yeah,
that's I don't like the Cubs either.
All 4 favorites.
I'm betting the Mariners and the Yankees definitely. I'll probably end up betting the Phillies and the Cubs, but those are more just gambling. I'm betting the Yankees and the Mariners are my 2 bets. All right, can we talk NFL because no one cares about this anymore?
I love
Have
you
a good day, guys.
Later, guys. Thanks for coming on. I'll talk to you over the weekend. All right, we are talking NFL. Scott Reichel is here. He was coming in previously on Tuesdays. We switched it over to Fridays. I think this is going to work better for me. So just like as previously, he picked 4 games to go through, and I actually have a bet in 3 of these 4 games. So, this first one, you guys already know. You've heard me talk about it. I'm on Cleveland. I got it at 4.5. Who's playing on this offensive line for the Vikings? Just to pull the graphic up on the screen here. This graphic is from a couple days ago. Ryan Kelly, the center's been ruled out. J.J. McCarthy's been ruled out. We're talking about the Vikings offensive line missing 3 starters against the Cleveland Browns defensive line. Carson Wentz is going to be in prison. I don't know if the run's going to be there. Cleveland's been arguably the best run defense in the NFL so far this year, and the Vikings are still without Aaron Jones and Ty Chandler, which means it's Jordan Mason against the Browns defense with 3 starters missing on the offensive line. I get it. We're talking about Dylan Gabriel. I can't believe when I bet this, I thought Flacco was going to be starting. I bet it at open, announced that Dylan Gabriel's the starter. I don't necessarily love that. Trust me, I'm not thrilled with that matchup either. Dylan Gabriel was one of the most efficient quarterbacks in college football last year when blitzed. Now, obviously, does that translate into an excellent start against Brian Flores and the Vikings defense? Maybe not. But yeah, I just don't think this should be above a field goal with the current state of the Vikings offense. So I'm on Cleveland. I got a good number. I'd still play it above a field goal. Do you agree?
Yeah, so from a side perspective, I'll agree, but I'll go with the first half under instead at this game. 17.5, the under's minus 107. Cleveland averaging 5 points per game in the first half. 5. Dead last in the league. Dylan Gabriel, as you said before, making his first ever NFL start against a Brian Flores defense and not exactly ideal. You mentioned the offensive line issues for Minnesota. Carson Wentz, also a statue, not a good combo. He's been sacked 9 times in his 2 starts recently, and we know the Browns are also good at getting after the quarterback, led by Myles Garrett. They're ranked tied for 7th in the league in sacks per game. Also, typically, these international games tend to be pretty slow starting. Either a bit of jet lag, bit of neutral site issues, but either way, I do think you're going to see a lower scoring start to this game. The full game total is very low. I understand it, but I do think it might take some time for Gabriel to get comfortable in the pocket with the Flores defense. And the fact is, the Vikings, as you said before, can't really block anybody. So I see a pretty ugly start to this game. Give me the first half under 17.5 at minus 107.
Yeah, I'd be happy with a 0-0 first half. Certainly puts me in good position. All right, let's move on to the next one. And this next one is Denver, Philadelphia. Looks like in the last hour, the Eagles have taken some money. I'm seeing mostly 4s now. I'm actually seeing a couple of 4.5s, which is good for me because I'm on the Eagles at minus 3.5. I'm not 100% sure how good I think this Denver team is. I don't think they're a bad team. But if we look at their body of work so far this year, which of the games has impressed you? I mean, Cincinnati, they dominated at home against Jake Browning. Give you that one. Other than that, are there any of Denver's games that impress you? I mean, the first game against Tennessee, that was the Titans' best game, was on the road in Denver. Cam Ward, that was a 1-score game, or was it 8 or 9 it landed on? Denver didn't dominate that game at all, and we all kind of perceive Denver to be this elite defense, and they were last year. They very well might be again this year, but if you take a look at it, yeah, they played great defense against Tennessee and Houston. Their other 2 games against the Colts and the Chargers, Jonathan Taylor had 165 yards rushing in the game, and the Chargers were moving the ball a little bit too, mostly late in the game. But I'm not impressed with this Broncos defense. I think they're going to be a strong defense, but so far they just beat up on the Titans, and they just beat up on 2 really bad offenses. So I don't know how they keep it within a field goal on the road in Philadelphia. I don't even think the Eagles have looked all that great, but it's the last time a team has come within 3 points of the Eagles in Philadelphia was week 2 last year when Kirk Cousins threw a game-winning touchdown to Drake London, I think it was, on Monday Night Football to beat them. That was the last time a team came within 3 of the Eagles in Philadelphia, and I just don't think Denver is the team to do it. Where are you at on this one?
Yeah, so I do agree with you about Denver. I think the question, though, that you have to bring up when it comes to evaluating how good this team is, how good is Bo Nix? Because he was really good his rookie season. So far this year, he looks, I'll use the word okay. Might be generous, but either way, not exactly lighting it up, at least based on the eye test and based on the stats. Denver, though, I think is good defensively. 3 of their first 4 games have gone under the total. I like the under in this game at 43.5, minus 105. Jalen Hurts had the rare achievement of winning a game despite completing 0 passes in the entire second half. 0 for 8 in the second half. It was pretty ugly, but you know what? Survive and advance. They got the job done there. The point is, though, with Bo Nix, who I think has looked underwhelming so far with the Eagles' ability to get after the quarterback and with the Broncos' ability to get after the quarterback, I think this total feels kind of high to me. The Eagles defensively, I think, have been up and down. I'll admit that, but I do think you're looking at the offense with the lack of balance. Saquon's done basically nothing so far this season. The pass game has not been that great. Hurts' stats in general have not been very good. And the Eagles also drain a bunch of clock. The Eagles currently rank 31st in the league in seconds per play. They will try to drain as much clock as possible, especially if they're winning in the fourth quarter. I think it's a low-scoring game with Denver's defense and with the Eagles' offense basically trying to go at a snail's pace. Give me the under 43.5.
Yeah, can't disagree with an under there. And I think Saquon Barkley could have his first good game on the ground here. Like I said, Jonathan Taylor was ripping him up. So we're waiting for a Saquon Barkley breakout game. I think we could see Saquon have a good game. What is with the Sports Gambling Podcast Network and their obsession with this game? This is the second time Sean Green wanted to talk about this game also. What is appealing about this Titans-Cardinals game here?
Well, the appealing thing for SGPN is definitely the degenerate aspect of maybe finding an angle on the Titans or the Cardinals. As for me, I am going to go with the Cardinals in this game. I'll take the 7.5 plus 100 on the Cardinals. Titans have lost 3 straight by at least 14 points. You mentioned before they covered the spread against the Broncos in week 1. They didn't deserve to. Denver kept shooting themselves in the foot. I thought Denver was really just trying to hand the game over, and they won anyway. But you're looking at the actual spot here for the Cardinals. It's a great spot. You played a home game on Thursday night. You lost a heartbreaker, but there's no travel. You have extra prep, and you're against a bottom feeder with a chance to get some revenge or get some, I'd say, frustrations out against this team. Tennessee, though, we know Cam Ward made some comments calling the entire team ass. He's not wrong. Brian Callahan disagreed. He's included, though. I think we'd all agree he's the worst coach in the entire league. To go through his actual ATS record since becoming a professional head coach, 3-18 ATS. So I like the spot for the Cardinals. I know Ridley might not play either for Tennessee, which is going to impact the passing game. But the Cardinals, I think they're a great team. No. Are they better than Tennessee? Definitely. They played on Thursday, off a loss, extra prep with no travel, playing at home against the Seahawks on Thursday. It really is a great spot for the Cardinals to get back on track. And as for the Titans, I don't know when they're going to win a game, but I'm not picking them to win this one. Give me the Cardinals minus 7.5.
Here's the thing. And I just want to be clear. I didn't bet this. I've been forced to talk about this game twice now. I'm going to put the Titans up. I think there's a dramatic difference in the opponents we've seen so far this year. Are we convinced that the Cardinals offense is that much better than the Titans' terrible offense? I mean, the Titans have played Houston look at the defenses they played. Houston at Houston. They played the Colts. Okay, maybe not the best defense, but they're certainly not the Saints or the Panthers. They played the Rams. They played the Broncos in Denver. Man, now that we've seen the Cardinals, they opened up the season against the Saints and the Panthers, and now that we've seen Arizona actually play some decent teams in San Francisco and Seattle, that offense doesn't look good at all. I don't care that the final score says 23-20 on Thursday Night Football. That offense looked like trash against the Seahawks. I don't think Arizona's offense is good at all with the injuries. Kyler Murray seems to be regressing. If the Titans don't cover 7.5, I think we're at the point where the Titans might be like 4.5, 5 points below any other team in the NFL, which I'm not even saying is completely out of the realm. But to catch 7.5 points from the Cardinals, this is like, dude, do we really think the Titans are that much farther below the Saints and the Panthers? They're like 4 or 5 points below these teams because the Cardinals play both of those teams, who probably are the other two bottom feeders of the league, and both kept it within a touchdown, although there was some backdoor action involved. But still, I there's no way I can't lay over a touchdown with the Cardinals. Again, want to be clear, I didn't choose this game. I'm putting up a pick for a game that was chosen, but it would only be Titans at this number. Also, what my pick for the game would probably be? Just the under. Cardinals at home in a very winnable game, maybe a conservative game plan. I think the Titans defense, if you want to tell me the Titans offense, that's how bad it is, I can get on board with that. Maybe it is that bad. And J.C. Latham, there was a speculation on him maybe returning. He's not. He's ruled out. So you want to tell me the Titans offense is that bad? Okay, I'll co-sign it. Maybe it is that bad. I don't think the Titans defense is nearly as bad as the numbers have shown so far this year. They've got talent in that defensive front. And you look at the Titans games, they got lit up in the Rams game, in the second half of the Rams game, and the Colts games. The other two against Denver and Houston, I know the final score, they got blown out by Houston. The defense didn't play that poorly. So I don't think the Titans defense is that bad. And I think this is a low-scoring, ugly game. Cardinals win 21-17. Titans cover.
All right, we can agree to disagree, but once again, you mentioned if the Titans are actually 4.5 points worse. They might be, because Callahan might be 4.5 points worse than any other coach in the league. So we're going to see what happens.
I don't know, dude. Kellen Moore's off to a rough start there.
That is true, but to be fair, they hung in there against Buffalo. Does that count for something?
No, I don't. I think Kellen Moore is a pretty creative offensive mind. I've always been a Kellen Moore guy, but the penalties and the mental mistakes we saw in the beginning of that Seattle game has me really questioning his abilities as a head coach, because that team looked unprepared. They looked just completely out of position. They had a punt blocked where I think they were missing a left tackle that didn't even come out for the punt. I was like, dude, this team might be really poorly coached. But they did play pretty well against Buffalo, who was kind of just throwing them change-ups, so to speak. I don't know what you're about to say. You texted me your pick and I forget, but I got a Chiefs at a flat 3. Are you with that?
Yeah, that's the exact same thing that I have. I have the Chiefs -3 in this one. I see -118. I'll take it. They've won 2 straight by at least 13 points. I don't know how good the Ravens actually are, or in this case, how bad the Ravens actually are. Scored 37 points. That counts for something. You're looking at the Chiefs offensively, got it going again. Jaguars are 3-1. They haven't really played anybody. They beat the Panthers. They beat the Bengals. They lost to the Bengals, actually. They beat the Texans, and they ended up beating the 49ers with Purdy, who was not healthy at all for that game. Bunch of injuries. Nice win by the Niners on Thursday. But in reality, this is a massive step up, in my opinion, of competition for the Jaguars. And in reality, Trevor Lawrence still not very good. So far this season, 58.3% completion, 5 touchdowns, 4 picks. So the defense has been fine. I think weak competition matters, and the Chiefs' offense we saw get going against Baltimore. I still think the Chiefs are undervalued here. I get it's a road game. I understand that it's going to be a pretty hostile environment potentially there in Jacksonville, but I don't really care. The Chiefs have seen much more hostile environments in the playoffs, etc. I'll take the Chiefs -3. I still think there's a tier gap here, and the fact is the offense with Worthy coming back definitely looked a lot better last week. Give me Kansas City -3.
Completely agree, and look, Jacksonville's defense is off to an elite start, and I think we've seen enough of a sample size to admit that, okay, this Jags defense is way better than we expected, and I'm not trying to take credit away. I do question the competition so far. If you look at the Jags defensive game logs here, when were they tested? The San Francisco game, okay, San Francisco's kind of a mess, but still, I mean, they had a 60% success rate per dropback in that game. San Francisco kept shooting themselves in the foot. It's not like the Jags were shutting them down. And then on the road at Cincinnati, they lost that game to Browning, who was piecing them up. Maybe if you want to tell me this Jags defensive front is going to be strong against the run this year, I don't think that's completely crazy to say. And then maybe the Jags have a top 10 run defense. Maybe that's for real. But I don't think the secondary is very good, and I just don't think they've been put in many situations where it's been tested. They opened up the season against Bryce Young. Then they saw C.J. Stroud at home, who not only looks bad, but he's never played well on the road his whole career, even though he's usually played well against Jacksonville. But those 2 games at home against bad quarterbacks, seems like whenever they've been put in a situation where their secondary gets tested, it doesn't look great. This is a primetime game against Patrick Mahomes, who might be starting to get his groove back. Remember, the Chiefs, they lost a couple games already. The Chiefs can't afford to be on the cruise control right now. Patrick Mahomes looked pretty good. The Chiefs maybe getting back on track. I think he'll have a nice game throwing the ball, an efficient game, one of those typical Patrick Mahomes primetimes games where you just can't seem to get the guy off the field. Every single pass, the 3rd and 4, pass underneath, catch, fall over the sticks, and they just stay on the field and stay on the field and stay on the field. At a flat 3, it had to be the Chiefs, and I got that. I got the -118 on the flat 3. The graphic says 3.5, but that's just showing whatever's open at Pinnacle right now. That's what the graphic showed. There are flat 3s out there, so make sure you shop.
I do want to point out, though, you mentioned that their run defense might be good. Joke's on them because the Chiefs can't run the ball anyway. Yeah. So I just see Mahomes throwing the ball a ton in this game.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Okay, maybe the run defense is good. What rushing attacks have they seen? The Bengals, the Texans, the Panthers. Like, they haven't even seen a rushing attack either. So I just feel like every aspect of this defense is in question, even though it looks very strong. And on the other side, Trevor Lawrence is terrible. They've been running the ball. Maybe they can run the ball a little bit on Kansas City, but Trevor Lawrence just isn't very good. So, yeah, Chiefs -3 for me, too. All right, Scott, where can they find your stuff, and what time are your shows on throughout the week?
Yes, you can find me on Twitter, @Raisha Radio. Find me on SGPN. Bunch of shows scattered throughout the week. MLB Gambling Podcast for the playoffs. WNBA Gambling Podcast for the finals. NBA Gambling Podcast as well. Got some futures episodes coming out later this month. And besides that, Tennis Gambling Podcast doing solo multiple times a week.
Cool. So that's his Twitter right there on the screen, Raishel Radio. Make sure you give him a follow. He's also tagged in this tweet. Everyone, have a good night. See you all in the morning.
Welcome to the Grizz Den, where we're going to go over how we dispatched our Montana Grizzlies. dispatched of Idaho State on deck. And I'll explain this hat in just a moment. First, we should go over the Idaho game. Once we got up 24-6, it was Katie bar the door. It was basically over. Not once did they get within one score and have the ball. They never got within one scores. You saw Mr. Electricity, Mike Wortham, why we're calling him that. You saw the workhorse of Eli Gilman. Why did he only have 15, 16 carries earlier in the year to come with a top 10 matchup, get to 27? Obviously, like we have been telling you since week one, the best running back in the country. Now we're on letdown alert. Before we get to Idaho State, let's get to the hat. So this is the 10th year anniversary, and by the way, this relates all to the Montana Grizzlies, not once, but twice, of Altoona High winning the state title in Georgia. My brother was the coach. He built it from day one of the school's existence. Retired a couple years ago, got the field named after him, all that stuff. But it's the 10th year anniversary of the Altoona Buccaneers winning the state title. How does that relate to the Montana Grizzlies? Part one, they did it the right way. Anytime you see a high school on ESPN, if you knew behind this thing, it's just disgusting. We won't get into any of the details of it. Just that high school football is just rough. Altoona won the state title, which is virtually impossible. And I will always have a soft spot in my heart for Vanderbilt. One of the very few FBS players was Turner Cockrell going to Vanderbilt, winning a state title, and it was just great. So what makes Vanderbilt so cool? Because big deal. They had a guy. Well, Turner passed away within about 3 years of being at Vanderbilt, melanoma cancer, I believe it was. But the great thing was that, and this will all come back to the mighty Grizz. So there's this thing called Turner's Heroes. And, I know most of you won't look it up, but I would ask for you guys to look it up because it's really pretty cool what they did. Vanderbilt took care of Turner as he was going through this and stuff going on. I won't get into any details. You want to see it? Check out, just search Turner's Heroes or Vanderbilt Turner's Heroes. Just Turner's Heroes should get you get the deal. And it was just, a 10-year anniversary of winning the state title. Turner's Heroes, I'd be wearing the cape if I could actually find it. So when you look into that, it's pretty awesome. And so how does this actually come full circle? This comes full circle because the national title game is in Nashville, Tennessee. Not just Nashville, Tennessee, Vanderbilt Stadium. So it all comes together. You tell me they're going to knock out the Montana Grizzlies on the 10th year anniversary of the Altoona Buccaneers. My brother winning a state title, which is virtually impossible, beating out Jake Fromm, beating Davis, D. Davis, that running back for Seattle that had been there a couple years. Name escaping me. He was the quarterback. So it was great. It was just great beating them down, or not beating them down, just winning the state title against all odds, against people that have people from Georgia, Oklahoma. Our best guy went to our quarterback and receiver combo went to the Citadel. That was 5A state champions, Altoona Buccaneers. So let's get back to the Grizz. So it all rounds up. So how are we going to get to that national title game in Nashville? Well, you got to win games against teams like Idaho State. The mother of all letdown spots, obviously, after we crushed Idaho. We've had 4 weeks in a row at home at the mecca of FCS. When you turn on the Grizz game, you're going to be like, now this is the FCS football I know. It's going to be a stale atmosphere. Friends and family of Idaho State will be there, but Montana's a big game for anybody. So those friends and family of Idaho State, they will bring more friends and family. But don't get it twisted. There's going to be more Montana Grizz fans in Pocatello, Idaho, than there will be Idaho State fans. It's just how we travel. It's just what we do. So what do you expect in the game? We need you guys to settle down. You got Trevor saying, not worrying about his Brewers. We got Toast not worrying about his Padres. It's like you think that this is baseball time. Let's go, playoffs. And all they talk about, along with Kyle, they want to meet Kyle and go. They all want to go to Missoula for the Brawl of the Wild. I'm like, settle down, guys. We still got 7 games before the Brawl of the Wild in Missoula. So you got to settle down with that talk for now. There'll be plenty of time to get excited for that. So we got Idaho State coming in. And what I remember most, I kind of like venture back to 2009 when they were like 1-8 and we would eventually play for the national title. And during that game, Jared Allen was there, a former Idaho State player, and they had all the emotion, and we had to kick a field goal at the buzzer to win it. Now, when you win a game like that, no one cares when you're playing in the semifinals at home at Washington Grizzly Stadium. No one cares that you almost lost to a really, really, really bad team. Now, this team is not as bad as that. I mean, their only home game, they won 90-0, 69 points in the first quarter against, what was it, Lindenwood? I think it was some sort of false college. You can look that up. I don't know. There's like controversy. I don't even think they play anymore, and they beat them this year. But Idaho State has a quarterback that can throw. He's not the most mobile of quarterbacks out there, but they can put points up on the board. And that's a little bit scary when they start to get into they have to pass every down. We'll shut down the run. We're not worried about that. But when they're passing every down, we saw even in the Idaho game in late third, fourth quarter, even though we had it in tow, he was able to scramble and then hit deep shots. We have had problem with the deep shots this year, but the thing that was good last week is we shut down the run, and that's what Idaho does the best, and took control of that game. And they didn't hit the plan, boom, fake, boom, go deep down the middle, like we had problems with. This is more of a broken coverage secondary, and then people filling in, and Love not playing. So he's the one that knocked the ball away in the North Dakota game to secure that game. So what I'm saying here is, okay, first I want to tell Kyle. I know I'm all over the place because I don't have a script, but just put 16-1, 20-1, or whatever the odds are, Montana to win the national title. The spread on this game, I saw someone say 17.5. I never believe the spreads before I actually see them on Thursday or Friday on OddsTrader, that they're actual bettable lines. But that's what I saw. I saw 7 Grizz by 17.5. But I think if you're going to put anything up, I would put this could turn into a shootout. These guys could score some points with us. Again, I'm never going to say, it's bad luck to put out a score prediction, but this team might be able to move the ball a little bit. We blitz a lot. We are a very aggressive defense, and we're going to get some turnovers from this quarterback. And we don't even know if he's going to be 100%. The backup can run a little bit more, but he's not the thrower that this kid is. So they could score some points in this game. But really, the question isn't whether the Grizz will run for 200 and rush for 200. The real question is, will we run for 300 and pass for 300? It's definitely in the mix. It's the thing that really has me concerned. And I'm more concerned about this than the Idaho game or North Dakota. But we knew Idaho was going to be a top 15 team. But we knew the electricity of Washington Grizzly Stadium would rip them out. But the letdown factor after that, going against Idaho State, who can move the football, is a little bit concerning. So yes, Kyle, you can say I am concerned, and you can say take the points and do the whole go against Grizz things. But we know what you really want, because for this channel, the best thing that happens is the Grizz keep winning. And to answer some of the comments, I'm like, do you guys just all play pool? I mean, everyone's supposed to protect the 8-ball. I'm not sure what that's a reference to. Maybe it's a drug thing. I don't know. Why not the cue ball? Why not the 6-ball? I don't know. But that's way over my head. But go check out Turner's Heroes. It's really cool what they were able to do with that. And we'll see you in the next video. The Montana Grizzlies will dominate Idaho State when it's all said and done. But guys, you know who you are. Kyle, Toast, DJ Jazzy Trevor. You know, you guys keep talking about the Brawl the Wild. We can't overlook this. Grizz Nation, don't let them overanalyze. Don't let these guys look past the rest of our schedule just because they think we're favored. No, we got to take them one at a time, and we'll win the national title. And the Brawl the Wild will take care of itself. We'll see you guys in the next video. Let's roll. I can't even see how to end the stream, so I'm just going to go.
Yeah, so there you have it. The Grizz. So Idaho State, by the way, in terms of the FCS, they are the Cincinnati Bengals of the FCS. They can throw the ball, they can score, they can't stop anybody. So it sounded like he was hinting at an over there, by the way. But yeah. Oh, by the way, so I have a video up where I go through like 24 college football games for tomorrow. So if you want to check it out, it's uploaded right on the channel, posted on the homepage. I talk for about an hour and 40 minutes. So if you want to hear me go through talk about college football for an hour and 40 minutes, it's for tomorrow's games or today's games. It's after midnight. See you all in the morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time for the live show with Mac and Scoop. Yeah, see you guys.